What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, giving you guys my regional deck, regional report. I probably should not have put Fog King on the top. I've got the flash on, and that like just looks so weird the way that Fog King looks. So, anyways, I went to regionals yesterday, Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Sunday, January 31st, and it was a really good event. Leaving the event, I was super salty, but after I thought about it for a while, I kind of got over it. I'll say off Jump Street, I did not make top eight, so terrible player confirmed. If I had only checked more, I definitely would have topped. But no. In all honesty, I did much better than I did last year at Charlotte. Remember last year when I played Teller Knights with Anti-Spell Fragrance, and I think I went like 3-6. It was embarrassing after that. It was like legitimately embarrassing. I didn't want to make the video, but I went 5-1-2, which I know you guys are gonna be like, how did you draw twice? Dude, I don't even know. Like it was. I think like it felt like every single person at like the top tables had a draw. Like um, two players topped eighted with a draw. Like there was to top eight, you needed to go 6-1-1, and in the last round, I was playing against Performages and Pals, Pepe, and I wrecked them game one, double Majesty's Fiend, GG no re. And in game two, I made a calculated risk and it didn't work out because we wouldn't have time and I couldn't kill him because he played cowboy. Like I was like, what is this? But I opened with Erebus, Idea, or Idea. I resolved both of them, hit a card out of his hand, and I set my Twin Twisters. I had Domain up too, so he only opened with 5 cards. And I thought about setting my Twin Twisters, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and set it because if he doesn't have Twin Twister, I have like a 90% chance I'm gonna win because he was under Domain. I had Erebus, and I felt like if he played two Pendulum Scales, I would just Twin Twister them, and then he'd only have like 3 cards to play with, and he would just lose at that point. Like no 3 cards would really win him the duel. But he ended up having Twin Twisters, and he discarded Juggler on top of that. Had he not discarded Juggler, I'd have been like fine with it. But then he discarded Juggler, and then we went into a grind game, and there was no game three. Game two, I couldn't kill him, so I had to do. No, I had to kill him in that turn because he still had Cowboy on the field. But whatevs, man. I got 24th out of I think 240. It was 8 rounds of Swiss. So I mean I think I did okay. I mean I got my invite, so it was like no big thing. And for my first in real life run of Monarchs, I think that's pretty good. Like I've been playing Monarchs. If you guys watch the stream, I've been playing Monarchs for a while. Originally I was gonna run Great Kaijus, but I couldn't get that deck to work. And once Twin Twister came out, I just gave up on every back row deck. I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to lose to that card. Like Monarchs don't lose the Twin Twister. It doesn't like obvious it hurts, but you don't like I didn't lose because he Twin Twisted me. Like the duel still went on like 4 or 5 more turns of like grind game and stuff, and I actually ran out of like spells and traps. That was actually the bigger reason. But anyways, let's show you guys the actual deck. So it was Monarchs, and let me just tell you guys about Charlotte regionals. Charlotte's always like a kind of a weird meta. To me, there was only like 4 relevant decks there. Mermail, Kozmo, Performages and Pals, and Monarchs and Pepe were pretty much like it was like 75% of the field was these two decks. It was like Monarchs. I think that's all that top too. Like really these it felt like the only relevant decks were like Monarchs and Pepe. Alright, so 3 Erebus, best Monarch in my opinion. 3 copy of Aether. Alright, non-debatable in my opinion. Run these 6 new Monarchs. The Chaos Monarchs, you have to run 6 of them. They're both really good. Use their secondary effects. Erebus is during your player's turn, so some people like to forget about that. You can chain it to like a Best Dweller or something like that if your opponent. It has to be in the main phase though. If your opponent has like Dweller out or something like that. But Erebus to me is like the best Monarch ever. Like the card is just OP. One MegaCapitalG. I never started it out, and I didn't really see it that much because I didn't resolve return that much during. I didn't resolve that much during the tournament return. So I did use this against a Monarch mirror match, and it was one of the duels where I tied. In game two, I sniped a Fall King out of his hand, and that was like the only tribute he had, and that kind of really hurt him. I'm sorry for the shaky cam. This is why I don't do a lot of in real life deck profiles, just for regionals. 3 copies of Idia, staple. Don't have to really explain that. Get your deck going. One of the best cards. I ran 2 copies of Eidos. I don't really like drawing this card, and you can special summon it from the deck, so you really don't want to draw like IDOS ever. You just want to special summon them from the deck and then use the graveyard effect. So I don't play 3. Then I played 2 Vassals. I played Landrobe, and I played Mithra. I'm gonna be completely honest here because I do not read cards. I glance over them and try and like quickly interpret what they do. I did not know until round 7 where I 2-0'd Performages and Pals. Like I scraped them. I did not know that you do not get the additional summon with this card unless it is tributed. I did not even know that, dude. Like, I just summoned it to the field and I was like, activate effect extra normal. And he was like, you only get that one tribute. I was like, nah. And then I read the card. I was like, oh shit. I mean, I still wrecked them though, because I don't really think Pepe is that good against Monarchs. 2 copies of Majesty's Fiend. Okay, so I had been waffling Majesty's Vanities back and forth, and I know Chateau Chat was like yelling at me in my video about Majesty's Fiend and how Vanity's Fiend is so bad. When I started seeing Pepe players play Part Naga, I was like, yeah, Vanity's Fiend's terrible now, because like if you play Vanity's Fiend, Pepe can out that really easily because they can just go normal Joker, get Part Naga, activate the effect, and then it goes to 24 tie, and then they crash and then you lose. Or they can play what's that card? Turn Toad. My last opponent played that, and that shit actually it hurt a lot. He was playing like double. He's playing double Mirror Conductor and like Turn Toad and Cowboy, all this weird shit. But Majesty's Fiend stops the Joker search. Sure, they can do all the Pendulum shit, but like Vanity's Fiend can do that too. They can still do that with Vanity's Fiend anyways, like Monkey Board and Guitar Turtle and the Lizard Draw card and all of that stuff. Majesty's Fiend, in my opinion, is just far better. Plus, it has more natural synergy with Tenacity and with Return and all that stuff like that is searchable. So, in my opinion, this is the better card because they have to basically exceed or synchro over this, and even when they do, they don't use any effects. They don't get any effects. 3 copies of Maximus C. Maximus C, and I run 3 because people are like, go first against Pepe. I'm like, why? There's nothing that can do that I give a flying fuck about turn 1, because they have no plays that generally Monarchs can't counter unless they have like Infinity plus Rafflesia plus Naturia Beast plus Solemn. Like, okay, you're gonna win that, but like only one person all day made Infinity against me, and I activated Tenacity. He negated, and I was like, okay, activate another Tenacity. And he was like, you can't do that. And I was like, this says activate once per turn. You negated activation. Even if I didn't get the Tenacity, I had Stormforth in my hand anyways. Plus, I had Domain. So, like to me, I'd rather just let them go first. I'd rather just draw cards off of Max C. If they try and make Ptolemaeus, just chain Max C. They're gonna get stuck with a Nova and win you 1 for 1, or they're gonna go for Infinity, which is a terrible card against this deck, and you +1. So, and this is also just like, if they try and go off, only one. I maxied one person all day, and they kept going and they killed me. So everybody else I maxied, if they kept going, like as long as you had like Prime in the Grave or Veilers, you generally just stop them. Oh, and with the Land Robe, I only used that card effectively once. I kind of outsmarted myself. I was running 3 Veilers originally, and then I put Land Robe in at the last second, thinking that I was being like cute or whatever, and I didn't even like I used Land Robe twice in the event. Like it worked one time where I put a Rafflesia face down. That was pretty much it. 2 Veiler. This is immediately going to 3. Taking Land Robe out and putting this at 3. 3 copies of Pantheism. Best card in the entire deck. D-Draw on crack. I don't know why Konami made this card. This is one of the reasons why Monarchs like are good, because you can open with pretty average hands and you resolve this and just get 3 new cards. So like basically, even when you go first, which is like I don't even like doing, you basically this gets you an entirely new hand. 3 copies of Domain. I was running 2 for a little while, but like the reason I run 3 is because I want to guarantee, if I play Pantheism, I want to guarantee myself a Domain without using Tenacity, because like you may use Tenacity to get Pantheism. So running 3 of this means that you can like guarantee that you get it. 3 Stormforth, like just spot removal, really good. For some reason, I played against Kozmo like round 6, and I activated Stormforth. He kept playing like Kozmojo and blowing up his guys, and like especially I'm like, dude, you realize this doesn't start like I can just wait until whatever the fuck you're gonna summon and then distribute that. Like this doesn't target, so I just let him do all of this stuff. And then he was like, I'm not gonna summon. I was like, great. Then I played Majesty's Fiend off of Prime, and I was like, now I win. Because yeah, he didn't summon. I kind of hinted. I was like, unless you don't summon, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna summon. I was like, that's cool. I'll just use Prime because it's a trap that can activate. 3 tenacity staple. And then for the one ups, return and march. So like I kind of cited these two cards out a lot. I cited out March more than Return. I should have cited out Return more than March because March in my last matchup would have put in some serious work because he had Turn Toad and he had fucking Ragnar Zero and he had 2 Mirror Conductors and like this would have just stopped all of that. And like a dumbass, I cited this out and kept this in, so that was really really stupid. I don't think I'm gonna side out March anymore, except against like maybe Cosmos, because only like one card in their deck really targets. That's like Dark Destroyer. Then I ran Juan for one because my friend Juan told me to run that card. 1 copy of Rhoda. Some people don't run some of these. I think 1 for 1's like a staple because this way, if you like get Veilored, you don't like you can still tribute summon. Because like if you normal summon Edea and it gets Veilored, like somebody did that to me. My one loss against Pepe, my one loss in the entire tournament. Like I went Edea turn 1 and he Veilored, and the next turn he just OTK'd me because I had like Rhoda in my hand, so I couldn't do anything. I had Majesty's Fiend, I was gonna tribute for it, but with 1 for 1, you can play 1 for 1, get Edea, and if they Veilor, you're just like, okay, whatever. I still have normals, I still have plays. You know, maybe I have Dominion, I can make my Monarch a 6, I can still do Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And then Rhoda, I sided Rhoda out a lot actually because when you side, it's hard to make space in this deck because the deck is like so tight. You don't want to side out a whole bunch of your Monarch spells and traps because then your deck gets like it gets inconsistent and it's obviously a combo deck. And then 3 copies of Prime. There were a lot of people that were only running 2. Don't do that. 2 Prime is bad because the reason you want to run 3 Prime is like when you resolve Erebus and Aether, preferably turn 1, you're always going to send 1 Prime to the graveyard because it's a defensive card and it's an offensive card and it's just a great utility card. So if you're only running 2 of this, then you send 1 to the grave and then you only have 1 in your deck, which means you're probably not going to resolve the on-field effect. The on-field effect is how you outgrind pretty much any deck in the game, especially if you're running hand traps. Like if you flip this over on Pepe during their end phase, you draw 1, and then during your turn you draw, and then you resolve this again and you draw. So you draw 3 cards in a span of like 2 turns. Well, in addition to your normal, but it's an entirely new hand. And when you play hand traps like Max C and Veilored, then you can draw into those things. So if they try and go off, you just Max C them, and you know if you have this in the graveyard, they most of the time can't kill you because you know you wait for them to go in the battle phase, then you just summon this, and they just kind of have to stop or whatever. For the side deck, 3 copies of Fall King, the whole fucking show in the mirror match. If you summon it, you win. I played 2 mirror matches, and yeah, the first one we drew. Second mirror match I 2-0'd him because he summoned Light and Darkness Dragon. I was like, that's cute. And then I activated Tenacity, and then I changed Stormforth, and I tributed his Light and Darkness Dragon, and it gains the original attack. So I had a 2800 Fall King, and he was just like, yeah, scoop. So there was that. 2 Battle Faders. Don't ask me why 1 is common and 1 is Ultra. I forgot to buy 2 Ultras. It was supposed to be 2 Ultras. I'm keeping this the same. These 5 cards are staying the same. This is for Kozmo and for Mermail, but I didn't play any Mermail. But essentially, against Kozmo, it's better than Speedroid and Menko because I used to think Speedroid and Menko was the same thing as Battle Fader. Battle Fader is better because Cosmo's right. If they go Firm Grow Attack and you go Speedroid and Menko, they can be like, okay, Chain, Dart Destroyer, pop your Menko, kill you. With Battle Fader, it ends the battle phase definitively, so they have to stop. Same thing it's the same thing against Mermail. It's like the same card. Vanity's Fiend, I honestly couldn't think of anything better to side. This card's coming out, so that's 1 free spot. This is a terrible card. Don't play it. 1 Effect Veiler. This will go into the main deck for Land Robe because Land Robe is really not that good. 1 BLS. This is just like this is me trying to be cute again. Like you're supposed to side this in the mirror match. It's an out the Fall King, and it makes it so that you can do shit if you have your Fall King out, but it never really came up. 3 Twin Twisters, and the one loss that I had, which was against Pepe. Game 2, he got turn 1 Mask of Restrict. I made him go first, and I never saw my Twisters. So after that, like I sided Twin Twister and I sided all 3 in against everybody for the rest of the tournament, and like it pretty much put in work because Pepe can't beat in my opinion, Pepe can't beat Monarch straight up. Like if you say let's play 50 times without siding, I'm gonna say Monarch's gonna win. I don't know. I say it's like 70-30 Monarch. So like they have to side for us. You don't have to side for them. Like the reason that I say that is they run floodgates for us. Our floodgates are in our deck, so you can't be like domains a floodgate for Pepe because we run that shit against everybody. One Regeki. You side this thing against decks that like to go super aggro, like that try and kill you in one turn, like Cosmos and Mermail. Because if Mermail try and go off under Maxi and you battle fader them, then when you Regeki, they just lose. And then I played the Solemn Brigade, two Scoldings and a Warning. The reason that I played the Solemns is that people don't respect back row on Monarchs because we only run just Prime. So when Pepe like they'll pendulum like 4 or 5 cards because they don't respect your back row when you have something set, and then you blow them out with Solemn Warning and they just get wrecked. I actually sided in these a lot. Like I sided it against Cosmos. He flipped over Mask of Restrict, and I was like, hell no. So I used Scolding on that. I used Scolding on a Twin Twister when I had Domain up. So to me, this card is just a card that helps you. It just outs everything. It's like 3,000 life points is nothing when whatever you Scolding is generally going to make it that you lose the game. Like if you Scolding a Mask of Restrict, like it's worth it. If you Scolding a Twin Twister, it's worth it. If you Scolding a Pendulum Summon of like 3 or 4 monsters, it's worth it. So like this card is really good in Monarchs. I wouldn't run 3 of these though. Like if I had the money, I would actually maybe even replace this with a Solemn Strike. But I mean, this is a $2 card, and Strike is like a $50 or $60 card. So, you know, I didn't really feel like it was worth it. And then these are just my packs, so I might open those later. Might do a video. Maybe there's a Solemn Strike in there, and then I'll be able to take this out. But in general, I'm probably gonna take out the Land Rope, put in Veiler. I think the rest of the main deck is fine. There's a few more events that I might go to. I mean, I've got my invite now, so I really don't give a fuck. And like the BLS will come out. Probably the Veiler, that'll give me like 2 more spots in my extra deck. I'm not sure what I want to side because like outside of Twin Twisters, you don't need anything for Pepe, and the mirror match is really just like Regeki and like Fall King. So you know, I feel like I just have a whole bunch of space to kind of play around with. But you know, let me not ramble on too much, guys. Thank you guys for watching as always.